I'm going to keep that in. Hi everyone, we are the cast of A Leap of Faith here here in my brother's house, but we're going to just pretend this is like Times of 13 headquarters.
Times of head.
This is where it all happens, guys, right round. It's not really. We thought we'd do a quick podcast series once a month where we talk about things we think are interesting, maybe in the industry or around things that we've been up to. So we thought we'd start the first episode with a reflection podcast about what we've just done before Christmas, which was a small play called A Leap of Faith. It was written by myself and performed by the cast. So we'll all introduce ourselves and then we'll go on to some. We'll tell you about the play, about the process, and then we'll reflect at the end and wrap up and try and not take up too much of your time because we just did an hour-long marathon version with no sound. We don't want to do that again. So without further ado, I'll introduce and move it over to Casey.
Hi, yeah, I'm Casey. I played the part of Runner in A Leap of Faith.
Joe. I play the lead in Leap of Faith.
I'm Rob, and I played the drunk in Leap of Faith.
I'm Charlotte and I played the girl on the phone in Leap of Faith.
I'm Craig and I played a person who liked other men in Leap of Faith and liked to get naked and to touch other people where they shouldn't be touched unless you ask their permission.
True.
That's about right, isn't
That's
it?
true.
That's entirely
Sums it
true,
up,
isn't it?
yeah.
It's entirely true. Yeah. So yeah, we'll go straight to Joe, and Joe can give you a rundown of what the show is actually about, and then we'll start just chipping in and jumping in.
So, like I said, my character was playing the lead. He was a guy who was a young guy who worked in an office. He wasn't very happy with his life at that very moment. He'd had trouble with his girlfriend, his partner. He hated work, he hated basically most of the aspects of his life, didn't he? He was getting a bit down and depressed about it all. So he took it on himself to walk up to a ridge, and he was there contemplating jumping off until he ran into a few characters who either brought him round thinking a bit straight, a bit better, or brought him round to thinking and to get off the ridge, basically. His character.
Not putting any fingers,
Yeah.
but it was wrong. Yeah, okay. Casey, you were the first scene.
Yeah, okay, moving on to my character. I feel like she didn't care I don't think she took into account at all why he was there. I mean, other characters kind of did take it in, but she looked at him kind of like a tripod, if you want to look at it that way, because she's a wannabe vlogger, and Hot Topic that month is fitness. So she knows that if she puts a video out, it's all about fitness. People are going to like and share and subscribe and everything like that. So to her, Joe was just the person to stand and press record. So she didn't care about feelings or anything. As I say, other characters noticed first off that he wants to jump. She didn't. She was just, there's my tripod, let's use him. And that was, I think there was no feelings involved in my character whatsoever, because once the camera was stopped as well, she was pretty obnoxious and she got what she wanted out of the situation. So yeah, I think there wasn't like no thoughts to Joe whatsoever in my character's eyes.
So she's like kind of like a single-minded, driven by this like perception that maybe people will like her.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you didn't like it, it was like, oh, I didn't really care.
Yeah.
Like, and no, somebody else will be there.
Yeah, yeah, it's
so
like
you can just be like the next like or not the next like.
Yeah, it's like the Hot Topic, like I said. I'm sure she'll move on to something else, which it didn't matter what time of year it was and if Joe was there or not. Whoever was there was going to be the tripod and was going to be the person to just be behind the camera.
Boom. Rob?
Yeah, as I said before, my character is the drunk. I just stumble across Joe's character on top of this ridge because I go there all the time with my own problems. Most of the time, instead of jumping off a cliff, I find solitude at the bottom of a bottle. And when I come across Joe and he's standing on the edge straight away, I'm like, you're not trying to jump, are you? I'm trying to talk him off from jumping and say, like, you can have a different opinion, you can have a different view. It's like, I've been there loads of times myself for peace and quiet. And when it starts escalating and realise that he is trying to contemplate suicide, I try and talk him down and say there's other ways. Even if you do want to go and jump, don't do it off the edge of a cliff, because if you don't do it right, you're going to sit there in a lot of pain. You know, just on these jagged rocks at the bottom. So you might want to go something quicker. But at the same time, because I've had, my character has had background problems and stuff in the past, he's had suicidal thoughts, and his way of talking himself down is writing letters about his problems. And Joe ends up finding my letters when I give him loads of paper. And that's when we have like this understanding that we've both been in this place before. And straight away, me being a drunk, I go off topic about like, well, I even end up mentioning religion. So like my character is there in the moment, in the essence, but at the same time, he's wandering into different topics and just talking to Joe. And at this point, Joe's character is irate with my character and just wants to hush me along and push me away from him, because I'm starting to annoy him now. To the point where like I've given him a pen and paper and stuff, and yeah, he just chases me off the cliff, and I end up leaving him with my pen.
Boom.
Which I like.
Which he kept, and he still has to this day, depending on what end you see. John?
Okay, so I was girl on the phone. My character was basically a selfish, trendy type girl who just cared about her followers, pretty much the same to you. But I was more interested in talking to my mate about a really shit date that I'd just been on, and then I come across Joe and seen him and was wondering what he was doing, and then my mate put forward to me that I should take a picture of him because it'd make me famous. So at that point, any care that I could have possibly had for this guy went out the window, and I wanted to just take a picture of him, get myself famous, and just take myself straight out there. Because
So you seen him as an opportunity if he would have jumped?
yeah, he was more of an object to me than a person. Like, I didn't come onto any level with him to feel how he felt. It was just pure selfishness. When my mate told me I could become famous from it, I was like, well, go then, mate, go ahead, just jump, because I'll take a picture of it and I'll be famous from it.
And then my character was a terminally ill young man who had recently been, similar to Rob's character, up on this hill, contemplating jumping himself, mainly because he feels like it gives him a little bit of control over his situation. Because obviously we're all human, we've all got like we're all beings that have got an expiry date, and then obviously when you're hit with that realisation that it's soon and it's out of your hands, then like I guess even though my character's relaxed, I think it gives him a sense of like a peace, knowing that, you know, one day if he feels like he can't look after himself anymore, or he's a little bit if he falls out of sync with trying to have a positive life on that day and maximises his time he's got left, then he can, on his own terms, he can bow out. And I think when Joe, obviously, whose problems are like work related, didn't get a promotion, his girlfriend, like it's got a couch that needs to be returned, like these small superficial things which aren't really on the surface of things very important, but we all kind of consider to be of the highest priority when we're in that moment, like, oh, I buy this couch, but it's going to be all around our neck for the next 2 years, but what else is there but the next big telly and the new phone? And obviously when Joe doesn't get what he wants after his hard work, he works himself up into this mess where he's angry with himself for letting things get out of his control. And then when he meets my character and sees like the true helplessness of what he's facing and how he's kind of managed to get a measure of control and sanity for himself in like such a dire time when he's obviously terminally ill, that's like an interesting eye-opener for Joe. But also for my character, like to meet Joe, I don't know anything about what he's been through. I haven't come across him when he was in a mood or shouting. I see him when he's deflated, contemplating, and I go up there and I don't judge him and he doesn't really judge me, and we just have that moment where after all the jokes have been done and all the funny moments, they're both just like two men on a cliff, two people on a cliff who are just there with their problems and listening to each other, which, you know, if you know people and they're listening to you, it can feel like kind of condescending, or you don't really truly want to open up. But then he's got this stranger there who's there to like listen to what he has to say, and at the same time he's mindful of the fact that maybe he's overreacted because of my guy's situation. Yeah.
You're actually listening to me. Your character's listening to me. Rather
than projecting
Yeah.
towards you.
Yeah.
Like even like I thought it was dead interesting because obviously like we said we're going to go a bit deeper into it now. But like Casey's character, like although she comes across as like shallow, she's more like the way that we discussed and wrote the scene is like she's more forward thinking. So she's never present. So she's always thinking not about working right now to get what she wants, which is what Joe's character had done, which is the irony of it. Like Joe's character's worked really hard and feels like he should get the reward, and then he doesn't, and he feels deflated. Whereas Casey's character is always looking for that next quick fix that makes her happy in terms of like, oh, someone likes me, someone gave me a like or subscribed, and that gives me some kind of a justification for existing because now I'm a little bit more meaningful to the world because of this one person who they only did that. But to you it's like, yes, followed on Instagram. It's so exciting.
It's today's society.
Yeah, well, you know,
reality.
You can speak more to that.
No, I totally agree. I think a lot of people, instead of, it's like I've seen a few things where it's put your phone in the middle, do you know what I mean, and actually sit and have a conversation without looking at your phone, without touching it.
I'm using it for a stopwatch.
But I think that should come into life in, like, I think it, as a person as well, like, it's a good thing to have because that character just shows that even though in her mind she's probably not thinking it, but on the outside, if you look at her herself, she's asking for people, she's asking to be liked, and it's like no one in the world should have to do that. But she's got the obnoxiousness as well against Joe to kind of put the front up as if to say, no, I don't need it, but it's something I want. But it's not, it is something she needs because that's what she thrives off. Like I say, hot topic, next month, something will come up and she'll jump on that. It's not something she wants to do, but she knows people want her to do it. So it's like a reaching out for a help, but not. In a very underlying way.
Like your character sees me as kind of like an object, like you said, like. But you don't get into the emotions and see me there as like and this guy is going to jump or whatever. You see me through a screen. So you're getting all you're not like getting emotions from me, you know. You don't see a man looking to jump. All you see is a guy through, just like people see stuff through a computer screen, but you use it from your...
Well, like, you see him as like a means to an end.
Yeah.
And you see him as an opportunity.
Yeah.
And like, I suppose your character in your sketch, the person on the phone, is like, because you're young and naive, like, one of the things that we all know from like being young is that we all think that it's all just about us. And everything just rotates around us, which we know is true to a certain amount because we only see the world through our eyes. But we're not really like thinking like, oh, does our mum need to, you know, go shopping today or nan or whatever? Do we need to take them? Do I have the kids' stuff ironed and ready for tomorrow? Is there going to be food in the fridge? You know, like you're living in that moment where like whatever happens in your life is like it's God and gospel. So when people come on, well, when you come across an opportunity like that, you're like, oh, this is fantastic for me. You're not even seeing them as a person because it's more about you. I mean, what's your opinion?
I totally agree. Like I was saying before, he is definitely more of an opportunity than an actual person.
Just stop for a minute and then carry on. You can cut that bit.
No, we'll leave that in. That was my dog, Wolfie. He just wants care and attention. But we just see him as an opportunity.
Like I was saying, I totally agree. He definitely is more of an opportunity to me than he is an actual person. Maybe if the character age that I played was like an older woman, there probably would have been some sort of connection with Joe there, as opposed to like a young teenager, because like showing different generations, it's like you were saying then, it's like you don't think about the fact that your nan needs a prescription, and you don't think about the fact that your mum needs food. But like if you guys think about it today as an older person, it's like you think about your nan's prescription, do you know what I mean? You think about your mum's food, do you know what I mean? So it's like if the character age was older than what she actually was, there possibly would have been a connection there, and some sort of...
I think as well with the world, like everything's social media.
Yeah.
Everything goes from social media. So some people will put something out there to get as many likes as possible.
Yeah.
Some people just put it out there because they want to put it out there. They don't care if anyone reaches out to it. But for others, it's a means to an end. Like, come on.
Yeah, I mean, it could be
Yeah.
an amazing thing, can't it, to help you. Like, you could put like a YouTube channel up there, which is just your reflections on your life. No one will ever see it, but it's like therapy for you,
Mhm.
and then it might help somebody else. But I think because your character and you on stage you come across as so young, I think it speaks more to the fact that we've got this like weird fame-induced kind of like outlook on life now with these big brothers and the celebrities who are always scrambling to get back to the
Facebook
top.
famous as well.
Facebook and YouTube fame, and it's like, you know, not saying that there's no value in those kind of things, but people are more looking to stumble across wanting to be famous than actually put the work in to do something worth being remembered for.
Yeah.
So you've got like this character who's like, oh my god, I could have more followers than like bloody Hugh Jackman, you know, because I've been involved in all of these events. Like you could go around staging things that would get you more viewers and stuff.
Which a lot of them do
which
now.
I'm sure
That's
people,
like...
or like knowing that there's a hashtag that everyone's getting on, so you want to be a part of it, so you'll start making videos towards getting more popular in terms of like, whereas you could go the other way and be like, oh well, like us for example, I've only just started using social media for the company and to try and give myself a bit of a profile for acting, but I'm working on my acting, so I'm trying to give what my talents a platform for people to see them. I'm not just trying to be a platform where I don't do anything but people just like me.
Well, that's the thing. Now we can't just put it out there. You can't just put a poster. That's why we have got to reach out to the social media now and actually put more things out there, because that's the way the world works.
Back to your character though, there's like in theatre you've got the fourth wall disconnecting the audience from the performance. It's like social media is that fourth wall from reality and emotions. So for instance, if your character actually filmed Joe's character jumping off the cliff, you have not actually thought about the emotions that's going to follow and the traumatic distress in your character.
We're getting deep
from watching this body jump off a cliff and kill itself.
But it's like the multiple self, isn't it? It's like we've got like a version of ourselves on Facebook and then Instagram, and then we've got the version that like we're around our parents who are a bit more respectful. Then you've got the friends version where you're out and you might, not me, but you might be out of all the lads and then they use more derogatory language, and then you're with your girlfriend and then all of a sudden you're the most respectful person towards women in the world, and it's like they're all a part of who you are. It's just like whereas with social media it's even more like controlled. So like when you see people out there putting all of that stuff up, it's like you see the best version of what they want you to see, and you might not have a clue who they are, unless it's The Rock, which I believe I'm getting like the proper Rock on Instagram. He's there every day, keeping me going, you know.
Well, it's like that when you were saying about like being able to pretty much do nothing to become famous now. It's like that girl with the the Cash Me Outside.
Yeah.
She now has a full clothing brand in her name with like loads of t-shirts with her face on, because she was on Jerry Springer and said 3 words.
No, I don't even know who she is. You might have to follow her.
Cash Me Outside, how about it?
It's catchphrase and everything, huh?
It's a full on, yeah.
What about your character, Rob? Do you see any more in-depth things?
My character, I think, is being a drunken, that he's not all there. He's got that many thoughts and emotions in his head that when he gets to Joe's character, he hasn't even acknowledged that this guy's hating him, wants to kill himself. He's acknowledged, like, well, if he does it, it's the worst way to do it. Do you know what I mean? So in a way, he gets on the level, like, well, you want to kill yourself, mate, but do it easier. Jump in front of a train or something's a lot quicker. Do you know what I mean? Instead of going, wow, this guy needs medical help, I should actually talk to him and go, what is your problem, mate? Would you like to talk about it? Where I don't. I'm like, don't do it that way. It's quicker doing it with a gun. It won't hurt you as much. Do you know what I mean? So my character's there on a level of understanding, but he's totally not on the same level of understanding. Do you know what I mean? Which is like controversial within himself.
Yeah.
But
Which
then-
adds irritation to Joe's character.
But then you've also got the flip side of it, where like, you know, go on to Joe, like every person that Joe comes into contact with, he's got like kind of walls up towards certain people, like when Joe, who's dressed in an office suit looking smart, obviously he's had a bad day and he's up on a cliff, but he'd never be associated with the kind of people that he comes across, and he's put in a situation where he has to deal with them. And
Yeah.
when your character comes along, like a drunk who everyone like just presumes doesn't really have a handle on what's important, what's going on in the world, they must have fucked up their life because they're in this situation.
Yeah.
And it's like, whereas you've been in that situation quite a lot of times, and he's probably made a prejudgment. And then like before we were talking about how you had that moment in the second performance where you went from like being funny to being like an actual nice moment, because that was the point where you two kind of connected for a second. Wait, what do you reckon?
Now speaking about it, I see you guys, like especially your two characters, like kind of like an evolved character of mine. So for instance, like where
Past,
I've
present, future.
Yeah, I've had a bad day and I haven't even thought about that. I've just gone up there because that's the one thing he's gone to do. You guys have been up there before, but then you came back and you realised what, you know, you thought about that, maybe the action you've been up there. For you being the drunk man, you've gone up there one night and been pissed. You haven't done it, you haven't done anything like jumped off a cliff or hurt yourself in any way. But then when you woke up maybe the next morning after realising not doing it, you thought about it. So basically you've done that a few times and you came to see my character. And then you've got all these little things that you've thought about, but all these things that you thought about when you were like you were sober when you thought about them. So going back to where you said like we speak the truth when you're drunk. That's because that came out when you spoke to me. So I see you as like kind of you've evolved from the first action of jumping straight away, but you've actually you thought about them. If that makes sense. Yeah.
You know, like he's a consequence of where you could end up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you keep making the same mistakes,
Mhm.
like, and you don't actually jump,
Yeah.
then you'll actually become. He's like the realization of where like all your like stresses and strains can lead you to, and like until you have the human moment with him, with the letters that he hands you, which are meant to just be papers for you to write.
Yeah.
You don't really look at him as a person that might have gone through like his own trials and tribulations. You just see him as a smelly tramp on the street,
Yeah.
which we all kind of just brush past it because we don't know how we deal with that situation. It's obviously a bigger question than what we can answer. And then my character is like, I suppose, the manifestation of like how you realise that although you might have been being foolish being up there in the first place, that you're actually kind of lucky that you're in the situation that he is, where the choice is still yours to be made. And that there's some kind of dignity in my guy looking for a bit of control in the situation.
The other thing as well with your character and Craig's character, you're both in a controlled state. Where my character's never controlled the state, he's just never jumped.
Yeah.
Now drink controls his state. Do you know what I mean? So in a way your character's got that's right, well, networking in a way from a total random stranger. It actually takes you away from the place and puts you in a new place, which is it's the pub.
Yeah.
But that obviously the audience doesn't see that scene, but that in reality could lean onto you to having a 3-hour conversation about your life.
Yeah.
Which means you go up the next day, next minute you've lost your missus because you don't want it anymore, and you've changed what you want in your life.
It's like when you first meet someone and you click with them on levels that you don't on people that you've already met with, and normally it happens when you're out socially and you have a drink, and then you end up in the corner for 3 hours talking to this person, and then you know that you've got to go home because you've got work the next day, but you're dragging out, getting a taxi and stuff, because it's an opportunity for you to like, in that weird environment where you've had a drink and you're relaxed, you're strangely open to listening to what other people have to think, and not just one way. Whereas with people that you already know, you kind of put them in a position where you think, oh, they only know this and I know this and they don't know, and we're not going to move our positions because we've got our egos.
Yeah.
With someone you don't know, I normally, when I first meet people, don't know who's noticed because we've all met each other so long ago, but I don't really, I'm quite talkative, obviously, as we've been talking quite a lot, but when I first meet people, I don't really talk at all. The first few times I'm meeting people, I'll just listen and get an angle on them, and then also gives me an idea of what they're like if they bring me into the conversations, because if they want it to all be about them, I'm happy to listen because I'm learning, but then if they want a discourse for me, for my opinion, then I can see if they're value to me, you know, to kind of bounce off each other.
You get comfortable.
Yeah.
Your character, to me, I wasn't comfortable being around you because you were drunk and you smelt and you were
drunk,
you
just
just
a space.
weird
But
guy.
by the time he gets to me,
Yeah, I
he's,
was comfortable with you.
he's completely like, oh, well, what can happen next kind of thing.
Yeah.
And
So
then
he's like, when you're listening to him, he's like, whoa.
yeah, because
I let you
that's,
speak, didn't I?
that's the first time that he's not just shouting his mouth off,
Yeah.
like, and
Or
letting the
just wants
audience
him to
know.
leave.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the first time where he's like, yeah, actually, it'd be good to talk to somebody, because sometimes just having a conversation with someone can solve all problems.
Yeah.
But we escalated to a point where we think that our problems are too big and no one can help us,
Yeah.
which is absolute rubbish. But it makes us feel helpless, and that's something that we've probably all in this room felt at one point, and everyone who, maybe the one person who watches the video, has probably felt as
That's
well.
me.
Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. We'll just go. We've done 20 minutes, 25. We'll do 5 minutes of quick reflections, and then we'll wrap it up as podcast number uno. Numero uno. So we'll go to Katie first. Like something we learned, something that we liked about it, and something we want to take forward.
Okay. So we'll start off with something that we learned. I think as a whole, I think I can speak for everybody, is that we can work under pressure. Time and space, both exactly the same. Pressure was on for both of them. But we pulled it off and we made it a success. So I think that's looking forward. And then I'd say the thing that I felt like I gained most from it was the fact that the reception we got from the two pieces as a whole was fantastic, because we did go into it rushed and it was an open book. We didn't know what we were going to get. We didn't realise that we were going to sell out. We thought we'd struggle and we didn't. So the reception was just, I don't think we could have asked for any better for our first product.
It's humbling, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was very. It made you go away. As much as it had been a hard time for everyone, it had been, you know, people were working and everything. So when it came to it, it was like, wow, we actually done it, and it made us feel better. Even though you get that buzz from performing and being on the stage again, like you said, there's a few of us who haven't done it for a while, and to be back on that stage was just a nice feeling in itself. But to get the recognition that we actually deserved, which we did, it was nice.
I really enjoyed the whole process, to be honest. There was a lot of stressful times, as Casey's already mentioned, and that, but yeah, coming from like doing a degree and stuff from creative performing arts is not acting. I don't care what people say, it's not acting.
It's performance with a capital P.
Yeah. So to actually come
University is your life choice.
to come from that course
Under the kids.
and to jump in with 5 people that I've never acted with properly before, and to get, as Casey was saying, the reception that we got and the production that we actually made, I thought was amazing. The hardest thing was, as again Casey was saying, is the pressure. Because like a lot of us had full-time jobs and stuff like that, so there's a lot of crossover with scheduling and management. But now we've got an example of how the first production runs from start to finish. Like already we've gave ourselves a lot more time to get it written.
We've got a template now for success, haven't we?
So like in a whole, like we had to have all these mistakes that we've ironed out in the first one, so now we know not to do them in the second one.
Yeah, so basically the camera turns off after half an hour, so we had to start again, but we know where we were because we took some time to look and have refreshments. We didn't actually have refreshments. We'll just go straight to Rob and we'll just carry on, and we nearly finished anyway, so
So yeah, with this performance that we're doing, I'm not going to give names away, not be down to the producer, but yeah, we're moving on to
It was Casey.
yeah, we're moving on to the next project and stuff. One thing that I'd focus on, well not focus on, but one thing that we do need to focus on is the promotion of the actual shows. Because there's only really 2 people doing it in the last shows, and now we've got more free time and that I can help with promotions, Sharp can help, Joe can help, and we're getting more people on board with this one so they can help, and I reckon that will help us to grow as a company, get our name out there and to bring the audience in. That's one of the things I'd focus on next with this performance.
Sweet. Joseph?
From the performance, I think what worked was, to put it bluntly, us. I think we worked well as a team together, especially from not having to not work together before. I think that from what we did, rehearsals up until the performance show, working together, putting on basically the best show we could, under the circumstances of being, obviously getting all the money and stuff together, putting all our time and effort in. I think, yeah, that definitely worked. I liked how the show played out, and I liked basically all the comments that we got afterwards. So we all had our own perception of what we thought the performance was like, but then we all got our own little comments of family, friends, about how, they obviously seen it, and a different perspectives from other people, which is good to hear, basically. Talking about my character and basically little points that I never kind of saw, first of all, but what they kind of got from the performance. I like that. And taking forward, I like to take basically, I said that about 7 million times, basically.
You want to take the basicness.
Basically, of
A stage and a cast.
Yeah.
That's definitely
the work ethic. I want to take the work ethic from our last show and put it onto something else. I know, obviously, with it was very small, being in Renshaw, and a small production with budget-wise, etc. But going into a bigger, better venue, I think we can do, again, bigger and better things and put another step up, see where we go in the theatres.
Yeah. Charlotte?
I think what I liked most about the whole thing was how much I wasn't expecting what we actually received from the performance, from the audience, the whole aspect of things. Like when we first saw the space, I was like, wow, that space is really small. Do you know what I mean? How are we going to get 50 people in there? Do you know what I mean? And then being there on the night, putting it all together, getting up on the stage and going, we can do this. It was that moment, that exact moment, because of everything that we do, like the whole development process from the minute we put the script in our hands to the minute we got up on that stage, it was just stress. Do you know what I mean? Right the way through, stress, pressure. And then when we got there, looked at it and realised, yeah, we're about to do this, we can do this. It's just like, it was that moment of, let's go and smash it, do you know what I mean? Something I think we should take forward is the productivity in ourselves as actors, do you know what I mean? So like, the work that we've put in, the stress that we've had, yeah, alright, we've got 3-4 months until we do a performance, but we should keep that pressure, the pressure that we had for the 6 weeks, we should have it right now.
I wouldn't say pressure, I'd say drive.
Well, yeah, the drive more than, yeah.
Yeah, like
but
the
like,
expectations, I believe, are like higher from me on everyone else, including myself. Like when we go into rehearsals with the script in hand in 2 weeks, we're going to have like 10 weeks until we put it on, which is double the time.
Yeah.
But I don't want to wait until the week before to get the intensity of the rehearsals. I want it day one. And it'll be expected day one now, because we all know, like Rob said before, what we did was the lowest common denominator of what we could have achieved.
Yeah.
So now it's time to start pushing people's expectations. Like,
Push boundaries.
yeah.
Make ourselves better than...
And the thing that we want to go forward with.
That's what I was saying. The productivity. Like keep ourselves, keep that drive that we had, where we were going. Shit, we've got 4 weeks. Shit, we've got 2 weeks. Shit, we've got 1 week. shit, we've got 10 weeks. Do you know what I mean? Keep it there. Shit. Do you know what I mean?
Woo, drinks now, yeah.
But yeah, just keep that mindset.
I think for me, I'm my own worst critic, like all the time. I always beat myself up about things, and unlike, I remember doing the first night, and my dad, who's like an opinion that I really value above everybody else, because I have like several mentors in my life who believed in me and pushed me to do things, and he's one of them who's consistently been there for me. And when he said that he really enjoyed it and was really kind of hoping that it was better than what I was kind of saying it was going to be, because I knew what it could be, and I had faith that we could put on a good show. But you know, Joe had like complications of his family around the time, and you guys had the stress of paying for a house and jobs that you hated. Katie has a child, I have a job and a high maintenance girlfriend, you know.
Amen to that, bro.
Sorry, Georgia.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Rob.
So you know, I kind of went in thinking, I know what I was going to do. Like, when as an actor, I know that like I don't go in and I don't rely on adrenaline or anything like that when I perform. That went away about 10 years ago when I was in college. I believe that when I go out, I'll put on the same performance every night, and I think that's something that everyone around the table needs to aim towards definitely doing, being relaxed and not going on the buzz, going on the fact that you're so assured in yourself that you can just do it. So I knew that like I had done everything from a performance point of view that I could. I was familiar with my lines, and then at that point, because it's my company, which is, you know, our company, but at that point it's like if it wasn't a success, you all would have like bailed anyway, like, because obviously it's something to sink and ship, you don't want to be on it. So I had more invested in it than everybody else, and if it didn't go well, it was going to be me personally who was going to have the brunt of it, and it'll be the same with every project moving forward, that I'll feel that way. But that's why I want the standards to be so high. So when my dad, who's, you know, just my dad, he's not a theatre critic or anything, but when he said that he really enjoyed the show, and then he came back to watch it again, and that he was proud of what we had done, that I'd actually felt like, you know, there's only like 5 people that I know personally who it would mean something to hear that off, and when he said it sincerely, like it did. That was the one thing from the show that I took forward. But at the same time, I kind of looked at it the same way Rob did, from a realistic point of view, going, okay, we're not the best actors, we've been out the game for a long time, but we've all got good potential, and we all know what our strengths are, and I'm trying my best to harness everyone's strengths and abilities, especially in the next project. So I was already over the success. I never really sat there and took it in. I was already forward thinking, well, this is the worst thing I've ever made. You know, I did this in 2 days in Wetherspoons, so the next thing will be much better.
Yeah.
And then to have other artists who were there and other actors who I believed felt like they were a cut above me and what I was doing, and had snubbed me in the past to do things, to come and watch me is more of like a pity watch. Say to me afterwards that, oh, I really enjoyed that and I'd like to get involved. You know, that's something that makes me kind of believe in myself a little bit more. Do you know what I mean? I believe in us a little bit more, because we're kind of like the Goonies. Do you know? That's what I feel like. We're like the misfits, we're the in-betweeners of the theatre world.
Cheers,
like,
Craig.
we all fit together in a really bizarre cocktail that kind of works in a weird way, and we all probably grew up in different like social groups, and then we've all come together in our enjoyment of what we do, and we get on enough to want to, you know, achieve something. Our egos are at the door. No one thinks they're better than anybody else. After what we did in the first play, everyone's constantly wanting more responsibility because they want it to be better, which is obviously the best possible thing that could have happened for me.
Yeah, that to me, that to me shows more dedication, because I'm like Craig, we have people in the past who said yeah, and the door was open, no one walks through that door, and now we've all closed that door and reopened it, so we've all got that drive.
Well, I mean, we're taking a project at that time. That's the thing that I took from it. I really enjoyed the fact that we did get feedback, but people who would have been critical of us, especially with the hate that I was getting off a certain Latvian person before we went in there, Like, the amount of hate that was getting thrown at me was making me think, oh, what is the fucking point? And then to get other people who are like peers, who don't need to say nice things, who could have just clapped and walked out and said, you know, nothing about it, moved on, for them to give us a little bit of feedback, it meant something. It wasn't just my mum going, oh, I had a nice time. Although, obviously I said my dad, but my dad's really like me, he's really critical. And he's not the type of person who would like come up to you and be like, oh, I'm proud of you for doing that. He's like 1940s dad, he'd be like, if you say nothing, you'll know.
It's like my stepdad though, he's not a theatre kind of person, he's not, it's not for him, but he came to support me and left thinking, he said to me, why didn't you tell me it was like that? Because I would have invited more people.
Because we never knew!
Yeah, that's the thing,
But that's
but
the
it's
beauty,
you
like,
can't wait for the next thing.
We'll grow from word of mouth now. So that was the positive part of it. The negative part of it, or the thing that we can improve on, I think, the most is like when you're in like an institute, like when you're in college or when you're in uni, like when you go through the door or when I go through the door, I treat the space as like a really sacred place where you're just there to work. And I think moving forward, I think that if you want to make better things, then as soon as we come through the door, it's like we need to be switched on and ready. And everyone needs to have this friendly competition thing going on. When I was in college, I always wanted to be the best person that I ever did. When I was in uni, I wanted to be the best person. When I put my show on for my FMP in university, I wanted everyone to talk about my show. I wanted everyone to be talking about what I did. And we should want that for ourselves, but also we should want to be the person, not to upstage the other person, but to make them raise their game. If I come in one day and I'm on my performance is fucking spot on and yours isn't, you need to look at yourself and think, fucking hell, is he just better than me or has he worked harder?
Yeah.
And can I be at that level? You know, and that's the same for me. If I come in, like I remember one day you came in and we'd all been lapsing on swingers and you'd clearly sat and looked at it and you came in and you did it and me and Casey looked at each other and I was like, rehearsals tomorrow at yours, extra rehearsals? And she was like, yeah. And then we went and we rehearsed it because
you don't take it as a bad thing if you can see someone's up in the game. It's like,
we made us up our game,
can up it,
and we got
everyone else
the bit between our teeth. Do you know what I mean? And we decided that we wanted it to be we were better than what we were giving out, and then we all need to so we all need to be like pushing each other. So if I know that you're better than what you're doing, and it's down to you rather than not being committed, not being there or being lazy, it's like, well, number one, why are you here?
Yeah.
And number two, if you're going to be here, be better. Do you know what I mean? I want to be the best at everything I do, whether it's making burnt toast. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I'll be furious and I'll go again and I'll go again. I'm a perfectionist, and with the first one that we did, I was more hands off because I wanted everyone to just enjoy it and see what we could make. Whereas with this one, I will be more of a director. I'll be right there. I'll be expecting things from you. I'll be setting deadlines every week for things to learn, because at the end of the day, people pay money to watch what we do, and they're invested in us. So if you're letting me down, you're letting them down. And the core audience is our bread and butter, which is the people that care about us. And yet they enjoyed it, but for someone who's not our core audience to enjoy it, we have to be more than just like, okay, we need to be good.
Yeah.
So the aim is to get, not necessarily to get bigger, because it's nice to have a bigger audience, but to just be better and to set a standard. Everyone was really happy with our standard, and I was like, this is not my best work. I was like, you wait till fucking April. And that's what I want. Every time I put a play on, I want to be like, we can outdo ourselves or at least hit that golden standard. And people got to realise we had no money. We did something with nothing.
Yeah.
We rehearsed in a youth theatre. We didn't have any rehearsal space. We're not funded by the government. So we should be proud of what we've done, but to be able to smile on the inside and go, you guys have no idea what we can do.
Well, let's be honest, we started in a living room,
Yep.
on a couch.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
A script that I stole from my old college. Behind her back.
We don't steal, we borrow.
Good artists steal. Yeah. So basically, like, I'm optimistic and I'm interested to see where we go moving forward. And I think we should kind of just do a final write-off on that, I suppose. Like we're all working hard to bring you the next thing as soon as we can, and it's going to be bigger and better because that's what you guys wanted, and it's because you guys came out and supported us, and we really appreciate it. And we've got some really interesting new talents outside of here, this room now, because they went in the last one. But you know, we look to move forward and keep you well informed in the process so that you kind of understand where we're at, what we're doing.
But again, it's a thank you for being in the journey with us, because
Yeah.
like I say, we started just a group of people. We didn't know how it was going to work. We started rehearsals in a living room with a couch, and you all, like you say, the bread and butter, the core of the audience, they were there to support us. So we want to thank you, and hopefully we can gain more of that along the way.
And we will.
Amen. And we'll see you next episode with We Don't Know.
Like, share, and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
Like and share.
Yeah, like and
Like and
share,
share.
like and share. You're gonna